Coretta Scott King, because we all know if it had not been for her, there would be no King holiday. There really would not be a true King legacy, because she's the one that sacrificed day in and day out to build this institution that I am the CEO of now, and we're continuing the work of educating and training people in my father's philosophy and methodology of nonviolence, because we gotta turn the world the right side up. And so I just want to thank you, give you love today, and I appreciate each and every one of you. I have a couple of people with me that I want to have to just say a few words. I have a sister from my home in Africa who's here today. Her father was literally, I'll just say it this way, the founder of what used to be the Gold Coast in Africa, which is now Ghana. They achieved their independence from Britain in 1957, and my father and mother went over there to travel to their ceremony and considered him a wonderful friend. His name was Kwame Nkrumah. And she's here with us today, Samia Nkrumah, and she's just going to share a few words. And then I have an activist. She was out in the streets of Ferguson, in the streets of California. You've been tear gassed. What else you been? Pepper sprayed the whole nine. Pepper sprayed the whole nine. She's an author, and you also would Teach for America, right? But she's an activist in her heart and soul and blood, and a child of the one true and living God, Brittany Packnett. And so they're just going to say a few words, and I know it's cold out here, but thank you for braving the cold and standing strong and courageous, and we gonna do some things this year, all right? All right.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. Yeah, I'm happy to be here today, and it's not a coincidence. As Dr. King said, our fathers knew each other. Dr. King was invited to our independence celebrations many years ago in 1957. And these two men, Kwame Nkrumah, who led Ghana to independence and who supported many other African countries to become independent, together with Dr. King, they shared a vision. While we were fighting for independence, right here, Africans and Friends of Africa were fighting for civil and human rights. So our struggles were linked, and they still are. The reason I'm here today is not just to support Bernice and the King Center, because I believe this generation, the younger generation, must learn about the struggles and challenges. Yes, but I also came to you because I want us to be one people. Africans abroad and Africans in the motherland in Africa are one. We belong together. Our problems are very similar. Many of African men here are suffering, are in jail. And the women are suffering, taking care of the children and the homes. The situation of African people all over the world is very similar. Whether you are in North America or in Africa or in the Caribbean, you are battling with the same issues. We have to beat exploitation, discrimination, marginalization. We have to beat poverty, lack. How are we going to do that if we continue to work separately? The only way out is for us to work together. And Kwame Nkrumah wrote a beautiful book way back in the 60s entitled Africa Must Unite. Africans must unite. I know the future is bright if we stand together. So I came to say, Let us learn about each other's cultures. I know we've been separated for centuries, but that was just the plan, to separate us, to weaken us. The time has come for many of us who study what Martin Luther King said and did, who study what Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana said and did. Many of us, we are determined to bridge that gap. Come home. And we must create the conditions for you to come home. So this is our mission. One people, one nation. Africa must unite. I want you to start thinking this way. The future is bright if we unite. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you.
How you doing, Atlanta? You know, I come giving you greetings from my hometown of St. Louis in the streets of Ferguson, Missouri, a town that nobody would have known about had it not been for a body that laid in the ground for 4.5 hours by the name of Michael Brown Jr. And every single day we went out there with our bodies to put our bodies on the line for the justice that we believe in. Every single day we did that, we were met with opposition. And I know you know why we were met with opposition. Because marginalized and oppressed people, unbent and unbowed, with a straight back and a straight spine and a proud voice, scare the powers that be. And I'm here to tell you that I want to keep on being a danger to injustice. I want oppression to hate seeing us coming. I want the status quo to hear us when we come marching down the street. And the good news is that every time you march, you're going to bring 1 or 2 more people with you. Am I right? The good news is that you all know that when it's time to march, it's not just time to march in 2019 and 2020 or time to march in 2016 or 2017, but it's time to march every single day. Because at the end of the day, no matter what holiday it is, no matter what day of the week it is, we have to be the greatest threat that injustice has ever seen. So I want you on tomorrow to get up and decide to be a threat to mass incarceration. I want you to get up tomorrow and be a threat to the idea that people can't have a living wage. I want you to get up and be a threat to sexism and xenophobia. I want you to be a threat to that wall they're trying to build at the southern border. I want you to get up and be a threat to everything that stands in our way, and when you do it, I want you to repeat these words after me. Say, it is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love and support one another.
We must love and support one another.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose.
This time say it like you mean it. It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love and support one another.
We must love and support one another.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
God bless you. Let's get free, y'all.
Amen. And so we're going to close out. I want to thank Jamida Orange and her team. Where's Jamida? Did she slip away? Dewey and the entire Martin Luther King March Committee. We continue to walk hand in hand and work hand in hand. And I want us to close out with "We Shall Overcome," if that's okay with you all. All right? Y'all testing my voice out here. Y'all ready? I'm not going to sing. We going to sing. Ready? We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. One more verse. Black and white together, black and white together, black and white together. Oh, deep in my heart, I
shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. All right, peace. We love you, and may God's grace and peace be upon you this day and forevermore. Y'all ready to crank it up? Let's go.
All the shorties in the club, let me see the jets. Let me know they drop it down, let me see the jets. Get low from the ground, let me see the jets. Push it up, let me see the jets. Walk, baby, walk, baby, walk, baby, walk, baby, walk, baby, walk, baby.